the land of dreams, the world's smallest continent and largest island. Welcome to Australia. Our Australian exploration started by hiring a car from Melbourne to heading towards Apollo Bay. We passed through Geelong and witnessed black swans on the beautiful beaches of Torquay. Stopped for lunch at Lorne. As we drove away from the city, the landscape changed gradually, from tall buildings to green pastures and blue ocean. It was a mesmerizing drive, with the mighty mountain range on one hand and calm southern ocean on the other hand. It was almost sunset when we reached the peaceful local colony of Apollo Bay, where we called for the night in a homestay. On the next day, we started early morning. While driving beside the beach, we saw people enjoying their morning walk. Soon, the scenery changed and we were driving through a forest. The rays of the sun pierced through the tall trees and reflected on the forest roads. It was a sight to behold. This was the first time we saw kangaroos crossing the road, and we were thrilled to see them. After this beautiful drive through the jungle, we reached Cape Otway, where we gorged on sandwiches in front of a lighthouse. After having our breakfast, now it's time to get back into the car. Now we are heading towards the 12 Apostles, which is a major attraction of Great Ocean Road. The ocean waves crashed on the humongous upright rocks. The sound of the waves and the ocean breeze felt surreal. We took a minute to dip our feet in the cold ocean water. After that, we continued our drive and we stopped at Port Campbell. This place is so beautiful and calm. The beauty of the nature, the soothing sound of the ocean, waves are continuously hitting to the limestone rocks under the blue sky, and we were amazed and mesmerized in the lap of Mother Nature. We saw a lovely sunset on our drive, where roads meet the dramatic horizon in the twilight, and we reached our final destination for the day, Port Fairy, where we rested for the night. In the morning of our third day, we explored the quaint suburbs of Port Fairy. We refueled our vehicle and went to the port area, saw people catching lobster in there. In the beautiful sunny morning, people are enjoying walk in the pathway along with backwater, while one father and son celebrate this calmness from their private boat. By then, it was time to say our goodbye to Coastal Road and head towards the popular national park, the Grampians. We paused at Dunkeld for some time, where we took a walk around the lake. The reflection of mountains on the lake looked beautiful, and the birds added to the beauty of the view. We continued our drive and were greeted by the many emus and kangaroos on the roadside. We checked into our motel in Hallscape. After that, when we were strolling around the place, when we witnessed many exotic birds like parrots and cockatoos, the vibrant colors and chirping of the birds was delightful. We spent the evening sitting around the campfire beside a lake and the mountain in the background. I woke up very early and I was roaming to the surrounding places to capture the photograph of the birds. After our checkout from the motel and before leaving the Hallscape, we just explored few places in this area. We took a short walk on trails and enjoyed the colors of the fall season. We started our drive to the Mount Gambier and passed through the dense forest with magnificent tall trees on both sides of the road. In Mount Gambier, we saw a sinkhole which was made of limestone and covered with thick greens over the years. After that, we resumed our drive and we reached Port Macdonald. We enjoyed big lobster for lunch, which was a famous local delicacy here. Then again we continued our drive. The winding roads beside the deep blue ocean looked like a dream and made for some beautiful drone shots. After driving through Carpenter Rocks and South End, we reached Beachport. We spent some time enjoying the sight of the ocean and pretty sunset on the horizon. Then we reached our stay for the night in a small countryside place called Robe, where we had our dinner and slept in. We started our day by soaking in the view of the lake. Our host was very kind to guide us for a drive on the Robe beach. With the sun radiating across glistening white sand and the salty breeze in your hair. The best view is along Robe's coastal trail, which connects the Robe Lighthouse, the old Robe gold ruins and the obelisks to the town center, and then all the way along Guichen Bay to Long Beach. And for a stretch of about 300 kilometers there was no sight of people or houses or any restaurant or anything where you will get drinking water or food. It was a splendid drive through the jungle. We stopped for some time at the Pink Lake, which was literally pink in color and looked pretty. After that, we continued our driving and reached Victor Harbour. Also caught a glimpse of horse-pulled tram, and we had our lunch in Victor Harbour. We spent some time to explore the harbour area, which was bustling with people, We made sure to buy some groceries before we left for our final destination for the day, where resources would not be easily available. After a wonderful drive in between lush green mountains, we reached Cape Jervis. It was a remote and peaceful place where we cooked ourselves first time in the trip in this dinner and called it a night. On our sixth day, we left for the ferry port, which was short 5 minutes drive from our homestay. We queued our vehicle to enter the ferry. After parking the car, we grabbed some coffee and snacks on the ferry deck. Soon the ferry skated through the ocean and we reached Penesho in the Kangaroo Island, where we would spend our next 2 days. We started exploring different beaches in Kangaroo Island. On our way, we crossed Pelican Lagoon. The road to De-Stress Bay was alluring as we drove under a canopy made of trees crossing each other from both sides of the road. It was a serene ride with minimal vehicles and pedestrians. Then we headed to Shield Bay, which is the best place to catch sight of sea lions. Finally, after exploring the Vivone beach, we returned to Penesho ferry port. We drove into the camping area surrounded by caravans parked by fellow travelers. We had our dinner at Penesho and rested in our tents for the day. On our last day, we had a lovely breakfast. After that, we drove to the port, which was very close to our camp, parked our vehicle in the ferry, and sailed to the mainland of Cape Jervis. Today, we are heading back to Adelaide, and while we are passing through the rapid bay, the roads turn more beautiful with every mile, with lush green mountains on one side and calm blue ocean on other side, and the so-called Christmas trees added to the beauty. We reached Lorne Valley, which is famous for its large stretch of vineyards. We spent some time here to enjoy a wine tasting session. Next, we headed towards Adelaide, and the roads were alluring with vineyards on both sides. After we reached, we had our dinner and went to a food festival that was taking place in Adelaide. We neared the end of our trip. Next day, we dropped our car. It was a wonderful trip where we enjoyed views that looked like a scene out of a dream, and drove through beautiful roads that lead to exquisite scenery. With a heavy heart and a bag full of memories, we said our goodbye to Australia and flew back to Bangalore.